You know what? Right here, this is amazing.
Paul Tracy takes the lead.
But you saw that Michael Andretti saw him coming too and decided to give him room. Now, this is a completely different complexion to the race. Can Paul Tracy lead a race under this sort of pressure? What happens when a young driver's blood is really up, as Paul Tracy's must be right now? Will he make a mistake now that he's the one under pressure?
Now, stations, we're going to go to that break just as soon as we can, but with that pass of the lead, we just had to stay here in Detroit, and we want to watch for just a few seconds longer because Bobby Rahal is closing up on Michael too. Here's the way it looked from the Goodyear blimp overhead of the track. And
boy, that looks like an almost impossible situation. If Michael hadn't realized what was happening, the leading two cars would have been out and Bobby Rahal would have been leading this race.
Michael even had to back off there a little bit, Sam, as it started happening. And, of course, you can watch Paul Tracy backed off a little bit, too, because it really looked like it was going to be a collision. It's a difficult place because Michael really has to go to the right, his right or our left. You see what happened there in order to make the corner, period.
So now with 38 laps complete and the first pit stop round done, Paul Tracy, driving for Roger Penske, has the lead of the race. Michael Andretti now closes up, trying to close in. Paul Tracy at front, Michael Andretti second, Jack Arute. And Michael Andretti moves outside of Paul Tracy, tries to grab him. Jack Arute, you had an update on the leaders?
Yes, Paul. One thing to remember is that both teams are situated at opposite ends of pit road.
Michael glanced off the wall. And looks like Tracy got it too.
And
Rahal goes into the lead.
The Fox.
Two cars, looks like both of them brushed the wall, and Rahal takes the lead of this race. But both Paul Tracy and Michael Andretti continue on. Now Michael moves alongside, and Paul Tracy tries to get under him.
Michael has decided to have a shoot-off. He says, hey, this young man cannot be run away from this race the way he is. I'm going to show him that I am the fastest. And boy, what a contest we're seeing. And he passed him back.
Michael Andretti takes Paul Tracy, but it's a battle for second place because Rahal, sitting, waiting, watching, moved up and took the lead.
Boy, Rahal was alert to that, as he so often has been to opportunity, but here, his reflexes, his instinct for taking the lead, incredible. Tracy now seems to be slowing.
Paul Tracy, and Michael Andretti bounces off the back of Allmendinger Jr., ricochets off the wall, and he continues on.
Well, what a race. I mean, I don't know where they've hit the walls, bumped each other so many times here. You wonder how they keep running. These cars, incidentally, are very fragile. Paul Tracy, we saw him touch a wall a while ago. That could be that he ruined the alignment on the car, and that's where his handling went away.
I think many drivers would probably say, that's it, I brushed the wall a couple times, I'm taking it in. Not Michael Andretti.
I was going to say maybe these cars seem really strong because Michael Andretti hit the wall too and he's still able to run. Meantime, it should be noted that Bobby Rahal is the leader in the championship, the PPG IndyCar Championship, and he is now, of course, extending his lead in the championship if he can win this race.
Here comes the white flag for the PacWest teammates, Gungelmen and Blundell. Final lap of the Detroit Grand Prix. 2 miles to go. Do they have enough fuel? Do they have the fuel? Do they have the tires? Do they have the stamina and the judgment? On to the strand. How much throttle can... And Gungelmen slows. Blundell bursts into the lead as his teammate slows out of fuel. And now Greg Moore has a decision to make. I could have passed him for second. Can I pass him for my second consecutive lead? Bruce McCaw and the team looking on. It's all in the hands of Mark Blundell. He's only got 2 corners to go. Blundell in the middle of the racetrack. Defensive position. Michael Andretti doing the same in what is now third place. And Blundell slows. Moore is in the lead. Blundell is out of fuel. And it has all come apart for the PacWest teammates. Victory. Second straight win for Greg Moore. Michael Andretti second. Gilles de Ferran unofficially third. And Jimmy Vasser a near thing in fourth.
De Ferran takes a look inside of Greg Moore. And Andretti working on Kanaan and Gungelmen. And I assume it's Carpentier again. Impact a little heavier this time. But, you know, it's the restarts that are where you're going to make your moves on a course like this. You have no option but to go as hard as you can.
That's exactly right. You're on full fuel now and cold tires. Pickup's not really a problem because you've gone out on those fresh tires, but still, they're cold. You've got a lot more weight. You can't brake as deep. And if you're going to make the opportunity, if it hasn't happened in the pit lane, you've got to do it on the restarts.
Look at this from overhead.
D'Amata actually made contact just as they came into our view. Wow.
A full rollover for Mauricio Gungelmen. You saw it looked like Herta making a pass ahead of all of that. Now, here's what they're going to do. They're going to switch pace cars. Not going to take the chance. We haven't had a confirmation of that as a problem from the course observers, but there it goes. Pace car goes into the pits, and now we'll exchange for another one. First time I've ever called that.
Yeah, what's frightening is I drove that PPG pace car just a few days ago, and it was working fine then, Paul, I swear. And I left it that way. I'm telling you the truth.
I'm not so sure, Parker. I'm going back and check on you. The new pace car will now pick him up. Montoya! Montoya's in trouble, and it's exactly
the same place, Paul.
It's what happened to the Farron. Exactly the same point on the circuit. This is really only a few feet from the broadcast booth. Trying to scrub the tires up. Look, he gets into Castroneves and then into the wall.
Well, or did Castroneves get into him, Paul? That's the question. We'll have to see that again. We are right on the outside of the fastest corner on the racetrack at 170 miles an hour, and the target car is literally less than 15 feet from where we're sitting. Right on the outside of that corner. I don't think I've ever seen that either. Remember, Detroit's one of those places. Nothing happens for a while, and then the strangest things happen.
And so Montoya strikes the wall. The white flag comes out. The race will finish as a timed race under yellow. Franchitti 1-2 going to the checkered flag when they come by. Look at Castroneves. He's got severe damage. He's going to try to get it around. We're going to get the white as they come around.
He's got 2 minutes to go, Paul, but look, the tire's now about ready to leave that rim. This is primarily a right-hand course. It's the left front wheel. Oh, boy, I'm going to be very surprised if they don't black flag him.
A look from Montoya's point of view. I wonder if the pace car pulling off to the right confused him in some way.
Well, I'm not so sure. Oh, he just got nailed from behind, Paul.
Yep.
That was all Castroneves into the back of him. You can see the hand in the air. That's what I suspected the first time we saw it. I just wanted to make sure.
Well, he's on his way to becoming the 43rd driver in the 22-year history of kart to find his way into victory lane if he can only get this one final lap complete.
And there is no place to rest. You may have almost a 5-second lead, but you can't make the smallest mistake here. You've got to keep pushing. It's when you start to back off, you lose concentration, and then something terrible could happen. So Castroneves now only 2 corners away from his first victory.
I'd be hard put to identify a more fun-loving, outgoing, and friendly personality.
How to say your name now? I know who Helio Castroneves is.
Helio Castroneves
Great job, buddy. Great job.
has taken the Tenneco Automotive Grand Prix of Detroit, his first victory. Let the celebration begin at the Tenneco Automotive Grand Prix of Detroit for Helio Castroneves. Now, as he pulled up on the front stretch to start his celebration, look at it. He shot out of the car and he ran over to celebrate with the fans.
I can guarantee you this will be one of the most emotional victory speeches we've ever heard. What a great, great victory for Helio Castroneves.
Gary Gerald?
So there you see, he looks a little to the outside, although I don't see Franchitti.
Whoa, and Buddy Rice can just feel that Scott Dixon was coming through on the inside, because Dixon now is starting to be more aggressive, Marty, because he knows he's getting pressure from Franchitti. It looked like everybody was willing just to sort of sit where they were and collect points, but we're going to come up to the white flag, and you see Franchitti just pushing the foot on the throttle, trying to get it done.
Oh, and Dixon's going to look under, and oh, Rice goes into the barrier, and then Dixon spins, and Franchitti gets swept up in it.
Okay, here we are. What would Kanaan think of right now if that was the whole situation?
Full course caution. Pits will be closed, and this race is going to end under caution with one more lap to go. Let's go to Vince.
Michael Andretti, what was your thought there in the contact between Scott Dixon and Dario Franchitti?
Poor sportsmanship is what I saw. I mean, he clearly took Dario out on purpose. I mean, he was rolling there, he was going fine, then he saw Dario was ready to go to the outside of him, let off his brake and took Dario out. I mean, it was totally on purpose. I'm protesting this. This is that's not the way to do it. I'm really disappointed in Scott, to be honest with you.
Marty?
Let's have a look at, here's the situation where it's all being set up right now. Franchitti is pressuring Dixon. Dixon now decides, I got to get going. I have to make a move. He tries on the inside, just touches, knocks Rice off. And here's the situation where, you know, I'm going to give Michael a little bit of leeway on that one, because there's no doubt. Does he look? We're going to have to see a front view of that to see if he sees where he's coming, because it's not uncommon for you to take your foot off the brake once the car is starting to come around like that.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those deals where everybody's going to disagree depending on which side you are. Now, Tony Kanaan has won this race under yellow here. Danica Patrick second, Dan Weldon third after starting 16th.
Remember, he was a Champ Car runner-up in 2006 and 2007, so this will certainly be sweet for him. And his wife, Julie, just had a child earlier this year, so some special times here for him this year.
He'll be the 9th different winner this season, the 5th first-time winner, and here he comes for the checkered flag. Justin Wilson wins at Belle Isle. For a team that is so used to winning, that is a sweet moment. Newman-Haas Racing picks up their first win here in the IndyCar Series. In his 15th start, Justin now the 41st different driver to take the checkered flag as the winner of an IndyCar Series event. Oh, no trouble for James Hinchcliffe as he is into the tires, and that is in turn number 6. And we may have our first caution, and it is. The caution is out. Full course caution here at Belle Isle as we are working lap number 40. Oh, and Takuma Sato is in the wall as well. Vince, what do you have?
You know, it's interesting. James Hinchcliffe had radioed in just prior to the accident that there was some debris on the track, and that maybe he had hit it but wasn't sure if he had done damage to the car. Moments later, that was the end result, Marty.
Well, and James Hinchcliffe was the only driver coming into this race that had completed every single lap this year. That string is now over. Let's go back and show you what happened. Oh, boy.
It just doesn't look like it's turning, Marty.
Well, it looked like the left front was up in the air.
See if we can see a different angle here.
This is Takuma Sato in turn 12. Oh, he hit the curb. Can't do that.
Yeah, man, the track just came up. They leave that big piece of track just sitting there, and look what happened. What the
Yeah. So we had reports earlier that part of the track was coming up over there in that complex, and when I said it didn't turn, I'm only assuming that that stuff there got into the steering somehow, some way, and that's why he could not turn.
And there is another piece right there in turn number 13.
And it makes me wonder if Sato might have got some of that in his steering mechanism, and maybe that's what caused him to also go into the wall, Marty.
There's another section of this material. It's just not staying down. The 2-car of A.J. Allmendinger climbs right up and over one of the target machines.
There just isn't that much room, is there, Scott? You make a mistake by 5 inches and you're over the top of somebody.
Well, these open wheel cars, and you can see the team owner Roger Penske disappointed on that, calling the race for A.J. Allmendinger. Remember, this is Roger's hometown and his race here at Belle Isle.
From Ryan Briscoe's point of view,
that's 2 cars fighting for one piece of road.
Got nudged.
Whoa, and I think we'll apologize
And
for
actually,
the gesture.
yes, and that is a fine, and probably a fine times two, actually, since he was coordinated enough to do it with both hands.
That's a double-double.
That's right.
Justin Wilson lightened up the tire into turn 1.
And Conway has done exactly what he had to do. He's had a clean start. He has to put a little... Oh, there's an accident behind.
Big crash back at the exit of the corner, and it is A.J. Allmendinger. I'm wondering if that thumb had anything to do with it. He could barely grip anything.
He just cannot get a break here. He had the similar problem in yesterday's race right at the start.
Yeah.
Oh, contact. Will Power gets hit. Several cars going around, and now we have a major melee through turn number 1.
You can't win the race on a restart,
but you can lose it.
There is Will Power. This is Tate, and boy, he is very hot.
You know, but I got to say, when you're walking, you're not hurt. The last thing you want is for somebody to come along and grab your arm, unless he's headed off towards going to meeting somebody. But
he was planning on meeting somebody.
Yeah, he wants a shot at Sebastian Bourdais. Here comes Conway taking a peek. Can't get it done. Meanwhile, Simon Pagenaud, he could be and will become the 6th different winner this year. Who's going to get second? It will be James Jakes coming across the line second. Our winner yesterday, Mike Conway, third. Our third first-time winner this year, and there is a very happy Sam Schmidt.
And word coming in from race control, this race is being declared complete. Past halfway, the threatening weather and so on in the area, so indeed we do have a first-time winner in the IndyCar Series, and Carlos Munoz will get the trophy from race 1 in the Duel of Detroit as you look at the unofficial results.
I think can I say something here? Not only did Carlos Munoz win, but he beat a fellow Colombian that had just won the Indianapolis 500, who everybody said was going to win easily today. That is quite an accomplishment.
And Will Power gets tagged. He tags Castroneves. Crash exiting turn 2.
Well, this probably helps the guys in front that were looking at their yellow.
Of all the cars for...
And the interesting thing that this probably does, the guy that was 5th in line that probably could have gone all the way to the end was Power.
There's the yellow flag, full course. Will Power's car in the wall, exiting turn 2, and clipping his teammate Helio Castroneves going across the track. They worked their magic on pit lane, and he did the rest. Checkered flag, and Sebastian Bourdais wins at Detroit for a 2nd straight year.
Thank you, boys. Well, you guys made it stick today. Great strategy. Really, really good. Thank you very much.
That was Graham Rahal hitting pit road. Contact on the front stretch. Hinchcliffe's into the wall and more.
And Sato.
We've caught up with James Hinchcliffe. James, what happened?
I mean, Carlos was an idiot. He was pushing me wide through 12 and 13 coming to the start. We get to the start-finish line, and he just drives me straight into the wall. It was such an unnecessary BS accident to happen. And you know what? He got a nice big check in Indy. We're sending him the crash damage bill for that because that is an absolute crime. So mad. It was so unnecessary. There's plenty of room on the racetrack. It's lap 1. It was a joke. We will definitely be talking after this.
What do you do now with the car? Can you get it repaired and get back out?
We're going to try. I mean, you know, as long as he's still out there, there's probably going to be some more accidents, so we'll try and go and get the car back out there and pick up whatever points we can. But I'm just gutted. You know, this weekend started with a ton of potential. The car was fast. The aero guys had, you know, a really quick car off the truck. And, you know, yesterday we had a mechanical failure, takes us out of a top 5, and today we have morons just driving people off the road.
Had there been bad blood between you and Munoz in the past? Anything in the past that would have brought this up?
No, we were joking around before the start of the race. You know, it's he's not a bad kid. It's just it was so stupid. I mean, even like I said, coming through 12 and 13, coming to the green, he was giving me absolutely no room. I don't know if there was someone on the inside of him. I haven't seen it yet. It doesn't really matter. It is what it is. It's over. He's in, we're out in a big way, and it's just really disappointing.
James Hinchcliffe very upset, Alan.
Seventh different winner in 7 races this season for the Verizon IndyCar Series, and career win number 5 to Graham Rahal at Detroit.
All right. Thank you. Hey, that's my first win in Detroit, my hometown. Great job, buddy. Great job. You just controlled this whole race. Mix 8. We won it, baby.
Talked about this being a double points weekend and the impact this might have on the championship. Graham Rahal came into the weekend 15th in the championship. He's going to leave in 6th place. Newgarden without enough. Checkered flag will be waving. Final couple of corners and a sweep in the Motor City waits as Graham Rahal takes the checkered flag in the 2nd of the Detroit Grand Prix doubleheader races.
You're the man. Man, that Honda engine was strong. Great job. No one's ever won both these races. Excellent work. Great job, gentlemen. Great job in the pits. Great job all day long. Great job, boys. Great job.
None of the top 5. Back live at Detroit, and the race has stopped before it even really got started. The pace car spun and hit the wall, exiting the pit lane off of that hump that comes off onto the racetrack. You see the safety team is there with the pace car and its occupants. They're going to try and motion the field around, although I think most of the drivers have shut the engines off by now. Watch this. Just bizarre.
It's like he wasn't expecting to see the 2-seater there.
And that is one of the fastest sections of the racetrack for a race car at speed.
Just accelerating and hit something, or?
Yeah, I think he just got on the gas, unfortunately, and the back end came around because the back end gets light going over that hump. You can hear the throttle application.
Gonna have to get closer.
Just a little bit less than it would be.
Push to pass.
This is where Rossi locked up his brakes again. And he's going down.
Rossi's off in turn 3. Hunter Ray goes through to the race lead.
Goodness. Oh, God, that must be painful.
Remember when he won the Indianapolis 500 4 years ago? He said he was just a proud Florida boy. The trip back to Fort Lauderdale tonight is going to be a happy one because he's going to have his first trophy since 2015. Checkered flag, 17th career win. Ryan Hunter-Reay does it in Detroit.
Ryan, awesome. Unbelievable, those 2 middle stints. Fastest lap by a second. Awesome ride, awesome. Great work in the pits, guys. Good job, guys. Yes!
This will be fun to watch. Marco Andretti taking slick tires. I like the gamble because I think a lot of people might have to stop twice to make it to the end because the reins are going to get hot and could start to deteriorate. He's done this move before. If he can keep it on the track and not spin out each time, he needs to get a whole lap on these tires to get some temperature. But I got a feeling if he can capitalize on this and it goes yellow, he will go to the front of the field when everybody else pits. He's got to get temperature. He's just furiously trying to warm the tires. It's so tricky on the concrete. Look at how slow he has to go. It's like a pace car. He even got on the curb. You just got to keep it off the curbs. Here it's kind of dry. There's a little bit of a dry line right there. I like the gamble, but don't lose it. I really like this gamble. You're going to be really slow, but if he keeps going and he doesn't get lapped, and if it goes yellow and everybody pits under yellow, he'll go to the front of the field.
This is gnarly right here. This brake zone on slicks. It's so hard.
We were just talking about the puddles.
Stanley Cup final. This is like running across a ring bare feet.
Worst section right here.
But every turn he's building temperature. It's going to get easier. Well, not that easy, but it'll get better and better in terms of grip. This is hard right here. He's got to exit driver's right.
A lot of rubber.
Stay low.
Black rubber there. Now he's getting to a drier section. The tires are getting more worn, but that outlap is painfully slow.
Lots of paint lines there. Super slick. And then this section with the trees above you is going to keep the moisture in the track. Paint lines all over the racetrack here.
He hasn't been through turns 1 or 2 yet either in anger, so we'll have to see how this works out.
Marco Andretti giving us the ride of the day.
This is where you have to be careful. It worked. It's good. Now he's got temperature. Now he can start to build on what he learned on the outlap.
Can't get too aggressive, though, just because you get some temperature. You don't want to start pushing too hard and make a mistake, because there's a lot of sections of the track.
14 seconds ahead of the leader. Keep working.
He's got to keep working, like Brian Herter just told me. He's got to stay on the lead lap if this is going to pan out.
The worst is behind him. He really did a great job on that outlap. Marty, what do you know?
And on that first lap, he was 20 seconds slower than the field. This is the telling lap, and every strategist up and down pit road is watching the same in-car camera. We're watching now, a little bit loose there, trying to hang it on to the wet. Graham Rahal was just asked, do you feel like we're close to going to dry ice? He said, I feel like it's close, but everybody watching this onboard along with us.
He's got some serious car control skills. He's wide again out in the puddles.
Doing a great job, though, to not have to go into the overshoot.
How are your palms at home? Are they getting sweaty? This is wild stuff from Marco Andretti.
Up front, I'm going to watch Rossi.
Anybody else hit?
Marco wants to
No,
know
not
if
yet,
anybody
not
else
yet.
hit. Rossi just did a 131.5. Those reins have got to have peaked by now, and I'm sure are going to be struggling to stay together. Let's see Rossi. There he is. Now he's looking for water.
Looking for water. See the dry line. You see the tracks there. This could really play out for Marco Andretti, but he's got to stay on the lead lap. We get a replay.
See how
right
this all
here.
went
Let's
wrong.
see what happens. Yeah, he's making the move on the front straight at the pit entry. Piggott was probably coming in, got on the brakes, and Bourdais nails him, and it just goes flying in the air like a plane.
Thank goodness for the attenuator that's now mandatory on, or sorry, the retention cable on the front wing, or that would have taken out somebody. That whole nose cone would have gone back into the field. Let's take a look at Bourdais launching it, Supercross style.
Yeah, I don't put any blame on Piggott. He made the commitment to come in the pits, and you got to get on the brakes at some point. Bourdais had a run and was going for it and kind of committed to the inside, and then that was it.
Bourdais just didn't have any idea. I mean, I can't put blame on anybody there. Maybe Piggott could have done a better job staying driver's right, knowing the field was going to be bearing down on him.
He'll hold that inside line down into turn 3. Rossi to the inside. Newgarden to the inside.
How did Rossi avoid?
Oh, what
Rossi
a brilliant
keeps
job.
going. Unbelievable stuff.
Brilliant job from Rossi to keep it going.
The championship leader is in the wall.
This hurts Santino. Full course caution, and he hasn't pitted yet.
Look at Newgarden. He is furious.
Oh, man. Rossi eliminates 2 of his competition with one move without hitting anybody. Looks like the front end of the nose pretty heavily compromised. Let's see if my theory holds true. Oh, boy. Almost went out of the park. It's right on board.
It sounded like the throttle stuck.
Holy cow. The throttle did stick.
I started. Wait, I went all the way down back up. Is there any, keep it, can't even.
They're spinning the motor, but no ignition. Oh boy.
Oh no. It will not fire. It will just not happy on the radio, obviously, but they keep trying here, and it's not cranking. Holy smokes. This is your concern as a strategist or a engineer?
Unplug the jump battery.
Oh no, now
they're worried.
They're pushing them out of the way.
When they do that,
they're going to send the rest of the field.
Exactly.
Oh. They are going around Will Power. Wow.
Oh, that is a gut-wrenching blow to Will Power, the Verizon team, and Team Penske. He has led the most laps in this race, 37 of the laps thus far. And within 5, actually less than that.
Copy.
The engine will not fire.
I can't believe it. He fought his way to the front. He had clean air. He had the lead. 5 laps from the finish, comes to pit lane. It still won't fire. They borrowed a quick jack from their teammate Joseph Newgarden. They actually tried to bring their starter over for Will Power, but this is crushing for Will Power. I think this race is over, guys. I don't think it's a starter issue. I think there's something going on with the ECU.
An ECU down here, guys.
So they're going to try to run down a replacement ECU, but it's not going to matter, I'm afraid. By the time you get that replaced, Power's going to go a lap down.
It's over. It is over for the guy who was on the brink of his 40th career win, and he is sitting in that heated cockpit.
And it wouldn't surprise me if the temperatures in the car got so hot that something electronically just overbaked. There you see the Verizon mechanic running with the ECU in his left hand.
He did almost 100 Formula One Grand Prix. The last time he won was in GP2, one of the feeder series to Formula One at the Nürburgring in 2013. While these two youngsters scrap over second, it's going to be the sneaky Swede who drives his way to victory lane. One more turn for Marcus Ericsson. Ericsson in Detroit.
Checkered flag, good job, buddy.
Wins for the first time in his IndyCar career.
Beautiful job, and Rinus VeeKay just hanging on to the second spot after
Awesome job today, buddy. Finally got your first one, first of many.
It was there for Will, and it went away with the red flag. I don't know how to even ask the question to take me through your emotions right now.
I'm mad at IndyCar because I'm the first car in and they wait for the last car to come to get a fan on that car, and it roasts the ECU. And just going red flag for starters, like, the guys up there in race control never listen to any drivers. They never listen. They don't care. We've given them so many good suggestions and they don't care. And it's just, I worked my ass off today to have this happen. Like, I'm screaming on the radio, we need a fan, get a fan.
And it wasn't for you, it was for the car.
Yeah, because the ECU always overheats. They wait for everyone. These guys have still got air coming in their car. Like, you work your ass off in this sport, so much money goes into it, and it's just dumb decisions like that. Like, man, if it's not a yellow they throw, it's some stupid idea like this, a red flag. So, yeah, he gets the same luck too, man.
Sorry, Will. Try again tomorrow. As you can see, and what you didn't see is the immense frustration from a race that was there and didn't come to fruition.
Turn 13. Turn 14, and just 3 laps to go from here.
And you can see the graininess on Newgarden's tires start to appear every corner. He starts to slide around and skate and struggle with the exit.
Let's not lose sight of the fact that Joseph Newgarden of Team Penske
has
led every lap so
Pablo
far.
Award. He's got to run. Where does he go? No.
Oh! Powder locks it up and blows it. And regroups. Nice save.
That'll take Hurt out of the mix for the next couple of laps because he'll have dirty debris on his tires. So Colton Herta's going to have to get him cleaned up. Palou might have a chance to make a move on Colton Herta. Oh, this is the move right here. Huge slide from Newgarden. Here comes O'Ward.
Stomped on the
gas.
They touch.
They touch.
Little smoke there at 175 miles an hour.
Wow.
Pato O'Ward leads this race for the first time. There's a new leader. White flag is at the ready for Will Power. 2.35 miles to go for Power.
And now you can see Power and Rossi almost on the same straightaway together. Power coming through turn 2 on the long straightaway to 3. You'll see Will Power just
Rossi
behind Ferrucci. Here comes Rossi.
This would need to be the most spectacular last lap you've ever seen. Down into turn 3.
Okay, that's the leader in front of you.
That's the leader in front of you. Go get him. Andretti Autosport says, Brian Barnhart says to Alexander Rossi, is it doable?
So agonizingly close for Alexander Rossi. He can smell the fumes off the back of that number 12 Verizon Chevrolet, but it might not be enough. Lots of push to pass in favor of Will Power.
He's got power, but he doesn't have much grip left.
There he is. They're running out of corners. This is not over yet. Alexander Rossi, who hasn't won in 43 races. Road America 2019. Can the Andretti driver do it? in that Napa Auto Parts Auto Nation machine. He can see it. He can taste it. It's right there. He's just got to get the Verizon Chevy driver.
That carrot, I think, is just out of reach, James, as they come to the line.
Out of turn 13, out of turn 14, the Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix. The last one at Belle Isle is won by Will Power. How about that? Chase all the way home.
Yes. Oh, God.
Power wins.
Boy, redemption.
We did it, and redemption, and his brother Damien and wife, his mother-in-law, everybody's there to celebrate. And that completes the Penske win list in 2022. His brother's stressed. A man who earns his career and his money making other people laugh. He's not laughing. That was stressful. Rinus VeeKay into the tire bundle on the very last lap.